Andrew Henderson, you are the York Knights' brand new head coach. What are your thoughts on signing for the club?
Oh, look, I'll be honest with you, Joe, I'm really excited to be on board. Very grateful for the opportunity that the owner, Clint Gunchol, has presented to me. Look, I'll be honest, it's happened very quickly. I was actually on holiday in Turkey when I got the phone call, the official offer from the club, and because I know that obviously I think things with the previous head coach transpired quickly too in terms of his exit from the club, and I know that obviously Clint's had to sort of move quickly to try and appoint someone. He's obviously identified myself as somebody he felt that could do a job in taking the team and the club forward, and I'm really pleased after having discussions with him over the phone, etc. That that I feel that we're quite aligned in how we view the game and how we view how a club should operate and what our sort of aspirations and ambitions are. So look, really excited. I think, and I've said it in the past, and I think I may have even said it to you in the past in passing, that I think York's a club that if it's got a lot of potential, and if you can get it right here, I think it could be a genuine Super League club. I think we've got a lot to offer as a club, and I have to give credit to James Ford, the outgoing coach. I think he really has left the club in a good place. He's got the foundations of a good team that's competitive. I think we've seen some really good things going on in terms of the infrastructure and foundations around the club. So I've got to thank him for that. He's given me a really good platform to work off to hopefully take this club and this team forward. So look, really excited. It's great to be back in the coaching arena. I sort of took a year out, adopting a different role there at Keighley as a head of rugby. But I have missed coaching, but I've enjoyed the year out, so to speak, and just see a different role and a different way to do things. But like I said, I've been chomping at the bit to get back into coaching. So really excited.
And like you say there, you've had a year out of coaching with your head of rugby role at Keighley, but
Yep.
previously you had spells at head coach at London, and you've coached with Warrington as well. Just take us through your coaching journey, please.
Yeah, look, a little bit of background about me. Obviously, I probably started my coaching journey at Sheffield, really. I was a player there at the back end of my career in the Championship, and part of my role there was I was player performance manager for a number of years, working with our scholarship and our college teams, and then got the opportunity to be the head of youth there, where I got to oversee and manage the whole sort of youth program, which I thought was, for me, really good foundations before stepping into a coaching role. Off the back of that, I joined London. When I retired from playing, I was offered a full-time role there as the assistant coach originally, but moved very quickly into the head coaching role, unfortunately due to the head coach returning to Australia for personal reasons. But once again, it was a fantastic opportunity. It was challenging and it was tough at times when I first took over, but I got the opportunity there to, I guess, put my stamp on things, rebuild a club, rebuild a team, and once again, that was great experience from me from a personal level. I learned a lot during my time both at Sheffield and London, and I guess probably from the hard work that was done there got me the opportunity to go to Super League and join the Warrington Wolves as the assistant coach, which I was there for 4 years, and once again, learned a great deal there, working with some great coaching staff and some fantastic players, of the elite level. That again for me was a great experience, and off the back of that, it was unfortunate I wasn't given an opportunity to be the head coach at Warrington at the time, which was probably a plan that I had in my head originally when I joined there, but they went in a different direction, which is totally fine and no issues there. And then the opportunity at Keighley presented itself. I was offered a couple of coaching jobs at the end of that year when I finished up with Warrington, but they just didn't feel the right fit for me. And I've always said that whenever I've joined a club, it's got to feel right, and you've got to believe in the values of the club and the ambition of the club, and you've got to feel that you can add value and have an impact at that club. And I just felt a couple of the jobs that were presented to me just didn't feel, for different reasons, but either personal or professionally, weren't the right fit for me. But a great opportunity presented itself at Keighley in a different capacity as head of rugby, and once again I just saw that as an opportunity to redefine my skill set, take on a different role and experience something new, and I suppose it's given me more of a holistic approach to overseeing the whole sort of club operation. So no, it was a great experience and a really good time I've had there at Keighley, and I have to thank them as well for how they've handled this situation. They've been really gracious and accepting in my decision to join York, and they understand those reasons for that. But again, I think it's been a fantastic year that I've enjoyed at Keighley, and like I've always said, when I go to a club, if I can leave that club at some point and it's in a better place, place than when I found it, then I'm comfortable in that. And I know at Keithley they've got a competitive team now built for next season in the Championship. I know they're one of the rivals now, but yeah, they've got some great staff in place now, and the way they're operating as a performance department is a lot more efficient and effective than they have done in the past. So that's really pleasing for me. But now we find ourselves at this destination, which is the York Knights, which again for me has come out of the blue, but it was an opportunity I couldn't say no to. I really believe that this club and this team can grow, and I think has the potential to be a really strong Super League club in the future.
And one aspect of your coaching career we've not touched on there is your role with the Combined Nations All-Stars.
Yep.
You've had a spell there. You worked with Paulie,
Yes,
who's
I
a
did.
player inheriting.
Yes.
You've been doing lots of punditry work, so you've seen the World Cup players, a couple of them play already,
Yes.
Premier Sports last year. What
Yep.
do you make of the squad you're inheriting in the where it stands in the Championship?
Yeah, look, obviously, I've had a quick look at the squad. Obviously, Clint sent me it through, like who we have retained and who we've got on the books. And I know there's not a lot of room for me to bring people in at this moment in time. I'm going to have to inherit what we have already got. But look, I'm fair as a coach. I'll assess each player as I find them. I certainly have an ethos that I expect from my teams that I coach. In terms of how I expect them to conduct themselves as people, but also what I expect from a performance point of view. But I'll assess the team through pre-season, and those players that fit into what we're trying to build and buy into that, they'll be on this journey with us longer, So, but look, I think we've got a really good balance within the squad of youth and experience. I think there's some, they've got some fantastic quality players in certain positions, and I'm really looking forward to getting to know them as people, but also, getting to try and help them as players develop further. And, but at the moment, I can't comment too much further because I do need to get to sit down with them individually. I need to get into their heads and figure out what their motivations are and what they feel they need to help with, and and get to know them a little bit more as well. So, but like I said, I do think, I've said it before previously, I do think the previous head coach has built a competitive side. He's really left some really good foundations for me to build off. So I'm just hoping now that I can get this group of players to buy into probably my style of play and how I approach things, to be able to help make them better. And that's my job as a coach. I'm there to guide them, I'm there to nurture them, I'm there to develop them. I'm also there to challenge them as well, and I'm there to make them better people and better players. So I'm hoping that we can have that impact.
You've mentioned there your style of play. Just for York Knights fans, what can they expect to see in 2023?
Well, look, I like to attack. I've got quite an attacking brand of rugby league, so I do like my players to always be looking for opportunities. Always have 2 points of attack and look to try and play, but also build off the back of strong defence. And it's something I have learnt, and as a coach over the years, I've learnt that defence does win you those big games, and we need to be strong defensively. So we certainly will be, for me, a tough, resilient defensive side, but we'll have the ability to play, in certain areas of the field at the right time. So, yeah, I'm hoping to have that balance right of defence and attack, but I certainly know from my experience that, defence does win you those big games. So we do need to get that right first, and then we'll build our attacking game around that.
And just to give fans an insight on what your role will be over the next month, what do you anticipate you having to do?
Well, look, I'll be honest with you. I've got to tie up some loose ends with Keithley because obviously, I still have a commitment to them for the rest of this month. So I need to tie up some stuff there with them and get that handover right. But also quietly behind the scenes, I need to make sure that I'm getting stuff in place ready for pre-season for York. So I'm going to be a very busy man over these next few weeks. Like I said, it would have been nice to have a little bit more lay-in time if I'd have known that this was happening, earlier. But look, I don't think anybody could envisage what's going on. I know James was here for the next couple of years, and he's obviously been presented with an opportunity recently that he thought was the right move for him at this time, and he's taken that. And obviously, the club have now had to act pretty quickly to try and find a replacement. So I'm just thankful that the club have given me this opportunity, and I just hope I can repay them with the faith they've put in me and the trust they've put in me as a head coach, to get the performances from the team and get the results, and hopefully get the fans an opportunity to not only watch an exciting brand of rugby league, but one day watch Super League Rugby League here at York.